Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about environment variables and how you should use them and what's the wrong way to use them. So without further ado, let's get into it. So what are the normal ways people use environment variables in Next.js? Well, this is kind of how it goes. They're going to create a .env file. They're going to create an environment variable. Let's just call it ABC. And let's just set it to 123 as an example. The next step they're going to do is they're going to try to use that environment variable. And so let's just try to use it. Let's just call it const a of type string equal to process.env.abc. Well, why are we getting an error? Well, the reason we're getting an error is because when you use an environment variable, it could or could not exist. And so TypeScript has no way of knowing if that variable is a string or it's completely undefined. And you might think, well, that's not a big problem. You could just write as string. I'm sorry there, but you can just write as string, or you can just put the exclamation mark and be done with it. And that usually works, but if you're creating a really big project with a lot of environment variables and a lot of other things going on, I don't think that's a great idea. And it's just going to cause a lot of problem. Well, then what's the better way to create environment variables? Well, this is what you can do. There's this library, and this is what I like to use. If there's a different library, you can use that. But what I like to use, it's called T3 Env. And the way I like to use it, let's just go to their website, and I'll put the link in the description. The first thing I do is I go to Next.js, and I copy the command for installing this with Zod. And that's one of the other benefits of using it, which is you get to add validations to your environment variables. And so the first thing I do is I install them. And after installing them, you scroll down a little bit, you create a env.ts file in your source directory. And if you're not using the source directory, create it at the root of your file structure. So let's just call it env.ts. And let's just copy the schema from here and paste it here. But we're going to change a few things here. And the first thing we're going to change is, since I'm using a version of Next.js that's older than 3.4.4, I'm just going to remove all of this. And I'm going to uncomment this, and this is for versions older than 13.44. And I'm just going to remove all of that. And so what I have here is I have a server thing, I have a client thing, and I have, what is this? What's all of this thing going on? Well, it's pretty simple. The first thing you're going to have to understand is in the server thing, we put all of our environment variables. We don't put them here, by the way. We put them in the .env file. But to access it and add validations, we do it in the server thing. And let's just, you know what, I want to access my ABC from a server side. So I'm just going to call it ABC, and I'm going to call it z.string, which is for string. And let's just set the minimum to 1 character. And now what this does is, if you want to access this, what you're going to have to do is, let's say const a of type string is equals to env. And make sure that you're importing the env from this const env. You're exporting it from the env.ts file, and you're importing it from here. And let's just call it ABC. And guess what? You also get the recommendation for it. So now you have the environment variable. And if by any chance, if this environment variable does not exist in your .env file, or the minimum length is not 1 character, it's going to throw an error. So yeah, guys, that's how you use environment variables in Next.js, and that's how I suggest y'all should use it. If you have a better approach, just put it down in the comments and let me know. And if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe if you want to, and have a nice day.